Hey, you all right?
I'm good. Go ahead.
Guys, welcome to your place for murder, magic, and mayhem. You know what?
What?
Since it's a wrestling episode, I should introduce it like this.
Has your
Ladies
what?
and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Oh.
hi, what? Or I should just cut a promo. Let me tell you something, Daddy. I'm Decon here, and I'm a man. I'm a blue collar guy. My daddy worked 35 years in a steel mill, and I refuse to have the audience treat me like I'm nothing. But what?
Wow, that was. Keep going. You're good.
Okay, here we go. And when you look at me, you are looking, Daddy. I want you to look at me. You are looking for the source of power, the man that's too sweet, be sour, the man that yeah, I'm the man of the hour, and I'm ready to get funky like a monkey.
Are you
And
going to
here we
introduce
have
me, or are you just going to talk about
no,
yourself?
well, it's wrestling. So
Huh?
anyway,
Are you going to
and
do
here we
me?
have our co-host, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have the very, very mysterious, sick and twisted, fabulous of all the places. Somebody that cannot stay away from the Cadillac dealerships because she's got to add another one to her collection. Here we have Ash, the Oracle.
I didn't even get to introduce myself. You just went ahead and did it. So thank you.
Yeah.
I wish I owned a Cadillac, but I don't think it's happening.
I should, yeah, whenever I hear Cadillac, I always think Tony Montana. It's a Cadillac. And and then there was a wrestler. His name was Razor Ramon, and he was like, "Oye, chico, yo, it's another Cadillac. That's what we do around here. So it's me. It's the bad guy."
Okay,
Um,
what if you were able to own a Cadillac outright for free? One of the most expensive ones on the market. Would you do so? Or would you pass it off?
pass it off to what?
Like, I don't know, like a game show? Doesn't it get passed off to someone else?
Oh no, I'll take the Cadillac. I'll
I would
take the
take
Cadillac. Take the Cadillac. I'll put on the Hawaiian shirt. Have those the khaki pants with the belt. Have those very nice alligator shoes and the golden watch. Have the sunglasses on.
even alligator shoes.
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty
be over there and wear it like they did back in the 1970s. Wear those dress shoes, the alligator shoes with no socks. So you're over there slinging it with stinky feet.
I have something to tell you that you might be really jealous over, but I'm actually really excited to tell you about.
Okay, hold on. Let me prepare myself to not be jealous. Hey, go ahead.
You asshole. Okay, so my aunt, okay, said that she knows a lady that wants to like give away one of her full like length fur coats, dude. Like an actual fur coat.
Who
And
gets it?
moi,
You
Ashley Oracle gets this coat, and I'm
you know how you
really
should wear it? You should wear it and then wear big sunglasses, like
I
those
already got
big,
the big sunglasses covered. They even have butterflies on the sides, so I got the suit.
and you gotta wear all the rings.
Sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, today's episode is on what did you call it? Ghost of Professional W. Well, let's call it
The
the
hardest
the
fucking
ghost
subject of all time.
the paranormal in wrestling.
Okay. So, guys, this man sent me one video about this. Okay. I have not watched professional wrestling probably since I was in middle school. Not trying to age myself. That's probably like 20 plus years ago. So this man sends me one video. That's it. I got one video. That was it. And yeah, he does not make it easy. Decon,
Well, I mean, what
this
is life
is
about?
an easy
It's
subject.
about overcoming obstacles. And you can either become a stronger person by overcoming the obstacle, or you can live a life of, self pity by turning around and choosing not to even try.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, so one of the listeners put it this way because I was like, man, wrestling, there's so much crime, there's so much things going on.
There is a lot of true crime in wrestling. This is true.
And they put it the best. I said, Roland, don't start. Um, he put it the best. He said, of course, there's crime. Of course, there's all kinds of crazy shenanigans because all wrestling is a road show with carnies that are on TV. And
I wasn't gonna say it and like break your spirit, but I'm glad
oh
somebody
no,
did.
I don't care. I like that. That sounds like so dark and dirty. So so okay, so I'm gonna talk really quickly about a paranormal thing. So a couple of weeks
Quickly?
ago, what?
Do you know how to talk quickly?
Do I know how to talk quickly? Well, yeah. I mean, it depends if you want something, very surface or you want something in depth. So,
Got it.
yeah. Yeah, come on. It'd be the equivalent of you paying for a movie in the theater and it's only 15 minutes long. Like, you wouldn't enjoy that. You feel like you got ripped
Except
off.
with our show, you're not paying any money, so you get bonuses.
Well, it's also more endearing because not only is it you're not paying any money, but you're establishing a relationship in this cult of a family. So, anyway, so very, very quickly. All right. So, a couple of weeks ago, we covered the murder of Brody Steven. Of Brody Steven. Brody Steven is a comedian that died. Bruiser Brody. Bruiser Brody was this guy who was a wrestler, and he was some people say he was very aggressive. He was a bully, and then in Puerto Rico, he ended up getting stabbed to death in a locker room. So there's yeah.
But he was the bully, and he was the
Well,
mean. But he ended up
he was
getting stabbed.
Well, I mean, it was a whole thing with a crime that was going on in Puerto Rico. One of the guys that killed him had connections with a criminal enterprise in Puerto Rico. So even after he killed him and they brought the witnesses that witnessed the whole thing, they're like, well, you guys have a good day. And that was it. That was the end of it. So anyway, the story goes that when you go to that arena that Brody Stevens, I keep saying Brody Stevens, Bruiser Brody, where he
Yeah.
was killed, if you're in the locker room, you begin to feel like heaviness in the air, and you can hear the showers turn on.
Did they
You
say which locker room?
The locker room that he was murdered in.
Well, which one is that?
It's so in Puerto Rico, I think they only have two locker rooms. It was the other one. It wasn't like the big arenas they have here. So it's like, which one was it? It's the other one. So you can feel heaviness, and then they say that if you go and to explore, you know, that why is the shower on? What's going on? That you begin to feel like a little bit of pressure right in your stomach, right where he was stabbed. So a lot of people,
Oh, gross.
yeah. So a lot of people refuse to change in there. They're like, yeah, I'm not changing in here. I'd rather change. So there's wrestlers to this very day that change out in the hallway. They're like, I'm just changing in the hallway. I'm not going in there.
In all honesty, I think I would too.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
would you
eerie.
want a ghost watching you undress? Like, that's
Oh,
a
I don't
little.
give a shit. I don't care if people watch me undress.
Go figure.
Um,
This does
so
not surprise me in any way, shape, or form.
how dare you? So
Just saying.
So there's plenty of stories like that. I mean, haunted locker rooms, even haunted hotels. I mean, there's another story where you had a wrestler. His name is Dean Ambrose, and he went to there was a haunted hotel, and they're like, this hotel, it has a reputation of being haunted. Just get in and get out. Stay. A lot of people that would take sleeping pills just to make it through the night, and other people would sleep in their car. They're like,
So,
yeah,
like
I'm
the
not staying.
whole hotel or specific
It's
rooms?
the whole place.
Really?
So yeah, so the whole place supposedly it was a front for like a mob, so they used that hotel as a front. They killed people in there supposedly. Okay, so
Is my house
Dean
in?
Ambrose, yeah, Dean Ambrose is like, you know what? I'm gonna go.
I'm just kidding.
You know, sometimes I wish that I died as a kid.
Sometimes I wish I actually started a mob in Italy at like the age of 18 so I could become like some sort of awesome female mob boss by now, but it hasn't happened yet. So your wish of
No, I don't.
death and my wish of mob boss are kind of the same thing.
If they're and if they're traditional Italian like mob, they wouldn't allow a female to be a mob boss.
Well, that's fucked up.
It's a it's a laws of the old country. It's called the Cosa Nostra.
You've known me for a while now. Like, I would be a pretty awesome mob boss, right?
I mean, especially now with the fur coat.
See? Exactly.
So
I'm gonna
all
boss it
right.
up
So
and I'm gonna fuck some shit up.
man, I should wear a
I probably
suit or
won't.
something next time I come on the show. Just wear like a suit, and so yeah, the suit and tie and like hang.
My
So
hair
um,
slicked back in a low ponytail. I'll boss shit.
yeah, that'll be one hell of the episode. Anyway, so he goes right. He goes into this room and he's like, I'm not going to be intimidated, whatever the hell it is. So he decides he can't sleep. He's like, damn, I can't sleep. It's 11 o'clock at night. He says, I'm going to head down to the gym and I'm going to go work out. So he goes down to the gym. He says he's working out. And as he's working out, he says he kind of notices that the clock is slowly moving backwards, and he's like, oh, that's not,
Ew,
he
gross.
says,
Really?
that's not. So he says that he looks at it and he doesn't think anything of it. He says that he keeps working out and he keeps working out. And supposedly, this is one of the stories. Supposedly, there was a really bad murder that took place at 2 in the morning or something like that. So then he said that the clock kept moving backwards until it got to 2, and then the clock froze. And there was a faucet.
The horror shit.
Yeah, so there was a faucet that was dripping, and then as soon as 2 hit, stopped. And then he said that he's trying to ignore it, and he's looking, and then all of a sudden he says he gets really cold. He gets like a really cold feeling. So he says that what he does is he runs out of there, grabs his shit out of the room, and just goes and he sleeps in the car. Um, old school wrestlers. Oh yeah, old school wrestlers say that when they were booked and they were near that territory, if they did not book them in a different hotel, he says they would just not even go. He's, I'm no showing this show.
They wouldn't even like check into this hotel at all, even if it was a
Nope.
different.
No, because it didn't matter what the room was.
That. Can you imagine sleeping on a bus before a wrestling match?
And yeah, well, I mean,
like think
yeah.
back to your wrestling days and be like, could I sleep on a couch overnight and then go do a full-blown wrestling match the next day?
Well, that and then do multiple shows a day and then going back. Like, no, you'd be in pain.
Well, you would. I mean, I'm talking about before Nightmare Road. So, I mean, I guess you don't do multiple shows with us either. Multiple
No.
shows?
So,
Why are you doing multiple shows? Are you on OnlyFans now or what?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you're doing multiple shows a day, then
You don't know what I do.
I don't think I want to know.
You don't know what goes down on the mean streets. Nah, saying you don't think I know what's popping on the streets.
Gross.
So yeah, that's what. And you had heard or researched a very creepy story.
Okay, let me look up his name again because if I don't look it up, I'm going to
Dolph Ziggler.
pronounce it wrong.
Dolph Ziggler.
Thank you. Fuck off. God damn it. Okay, so
Signature move was a
this
zigzag.
guy, he swears up and down that his home that he grew up in, he he believes through and through that he had the devil in his closet. So what he was hearing like scratches on his closet door. He was hearing almost growling sounds coming out of his closet and all of these things coming out of his closet. And here's how I feel about it. Is if this pro wrestler, when I think of pro wrestlers, I'm thinking of strong men, okay? I'm thinking of men that probably don't scare easily.
Yeah,
Like,
oiled up muscles.
yeah,
Just like
they're just,
ravishing Rick Rude.
I'm not gonna embarrass myself, but they got must show off some more. Anyways,
Look up for
so
the audience. You guys already probably know this. Look up
oh, are you
ravishing Rick
showing?
Rude. He
Oh,
used
you're
to.
showing your
This,
muscles just not on purpose. It's totally innocent right now.
the what?
You're showing your muscles off totally innocent right now, not on purpose. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm doing the ravishing Rick Rude. He just put his hand. Anyway, showing off muscles. What are you talking about? Um, so yeah,
Anyways,
yeah,
so when I think of these men, I'm thinking of strong guys like yourself, for instance, like guys that don't scare easy. Okay, like for you, for example, it takes a lot to scare you. You're not gonna get scared unless it like concerns someone you truly care about, someone you love, etc. Okay, but when you hear of a guy saying, hey, there's a devil in my closet, I'm hearing all these sounds, and he's getting genuine fear out of it, and it's this big burly guy, I'm pretty sure what he's saying is real. And I'm pretty sure that the fear he's feeling is real.
you know what's creepy about that story?
That was loud. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. What's creepy about that story is that happened twice in his life. Once when he was a kid, the other time as an adult.
Exactly. And
You
it
think?
instilled so much fear into him that he's like, hey, this happened to me. Hey, I believe this shit is real because, you know, and I don't know. I just really feel it takes a lot for a man like that to get truly scared.
Yeah, especially Dolph Ziggler. I should look him up. Dolph Ziggler, he was pretty good. He retired now, I think.
I mean, I don't know a lot about wrestling. Probably the last time I watched it was when I was in junior high. But I mean, from what I remember, it's these big freaking men
Yeah,
who don't want to fuck around and find out with.
yeah, yeah. It was. Yeah, those some big dudes. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and it's so creepy because again, here you have a guy that's. I mean, Dolph Ziggler. Somebody put a gun in his face, and he said that he was like, "Look, man, I'm exhausted. If you're gonna shoot me, go ahead." He says, "But I'm going back to the hotel." You know,
But this demon in his closet, like,
yeah, freaked him
really,
out
like, scared the living shit out of him.
to the point where, yeah, it's you
But
feel bad
someone
for him.
pointing a gun in his face, he's like, I don't give a shit. Just go
Yeah, he's
ahead.
like, I don't care.
Yeah,
If you're gonna shoot me, just go ahead.
exactly.
And
So if the gun's not scaring you, but something that it didn't say if he was able to see it or not, but something that you can't see is putting that energy out to you and putting that vibe
mm,
out to you to where you are truly scared. and you're this big burly guy. That, I don't know. That just
Yeah,
says a lot
probably
to me.
probably because also whatever the hell this thing is, it's not reaching out and looking at your physical body. It's looking directly into your soul, you know,
Exactly.
and you can't no amount of weights that you lift can you know what I mean.
And I don't think that's what people understand about the spiritual world either. Is it's not how strong, how tough you are. It's how spiritually sound you are, how mentally sound you are to be able to handle something like that. As it has nothing to do with physical strength.
Yeah, and damn, and that's got to be a topic for a different day because that's so deep.
I think it
Yeah,
should be because that I we could probably go on for hours about.
yeah, that's a good topic. Um, did you hear about the Von Erich curse?
The what curse?
The Von Erich.
I know I heard a story about it, but I think I was making dinner when I was listening to the story about it.
So the Von Erichs were this famous wrestling family. They just made a movie about them too. I think Zac Efron was in the movie. It's called Iron Claw, and it's about the Von Erichs.
Oh,
So
that's right.
yeah, so the patriarch of the family, damn it, why can't I think of his name? His gimmick was he would portray a Nazi. He would wear the Nazi uniform and he would goose step, he'd salute. And his signature move was the Iron Claw, which he'd grab you on the top of the head and people would tap out and he's just squeezing you. And it's, yeah, it's pretty silly when you think about
For
it.
the times that we're going through right now, probably one of the most offensive gestures that you could do.
Yeah, it's fine. I like it. So, so, uh,
Go
So the
on.
Von Erichs, right? The guy that took the name Von Erich, he actually has no connections to Germany, to the Nazi Party. He's an American, faked an accent, and he was doing his gimmick. And he told this story. So he has five. He had five sons. So here you have, this guy told the story to one of his coworkers about something crazy that just happened. He's like, something crazy just happened to me, and they're like, what? What happened? And he was saying that he had this dream, right? And he had this dream that a Jewish like gypsy lady came to him and said, I lost family in the Holocaust. I lost 4 out of 5 of my siblings. This was in a dream. I
Stop
lost
it.
4 out of 5 of my siblings, and you are mocking them with your gimmick. And this was in a dream. And she says, now I place a curse on you and you will be cursed for the rest of your days. He said that he woke up and he's like, "What the hell?" So he told his
Wait,
story.
just
He took
him or his whole family?
um just him. So
Okay,
just
got
he
it.
was cursed. So yeah. So he told this story to a wrestler whose name was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He used to go around with a 2x4, and he would go with a 2x4 and he'd swing it around, carry an American flag. Oh man, it was a good time. So he told this story to
I'll
this
keep my
guy.
comments to myself.
So
No, go on. You're good. You're fine.
anyway, so this happened, right? So he continues with his life. He has kids. He has boys, and his boys get into the wrestling business, right? And they're beginning to
Naturally.
wrestle. Yeah. And then one by one, they all begin to die. Some by suicide, some by overdose. I think one of them died in a plane, you know. And
What?
guess how many of his kids died?
How many did he have?
5.
3?
4 out of 5.
Shut up.
Yep. They call it and they
I
call
was
it the
really
Von.
hoping it wasn't going to be 4.
Yeah, they call it the Von Erich curse.
Okay, so how many Close your ears if you're freaking sensitive. How many were suicide? Just out of
Two.
curiosity. 2?
Yeah.
So half were suicide and half were overdose?
Over overdose, I believe.
Interesting.
Isn't that
That's
insane?
pretty.
That's crazy to think about.
It makes
So
me wonder if the overdoses were really on purpose or if something else was telling them to do it, like with our last episode.
yeah. Oh, you know what? That is dark. I didn't even think about that. I thought it was just like a curse.
Sorry.
You
I'm
know.
a really dark person.
Yeah. No, just Roland. Come on, man. Um,
It's fine. He's
just
reacting to my darkness. We're one
yeah, he is.
sibling.
I gotta let him out.
It's fine. But seriously though, like, because like with the Amityville horror, oh, you left Kate. Bye. Shit. So low. Do-do-do. Not good as solo host. Okay, he's back. Great timing. As I'm
Okay.
singing to myself, you should
Um.
just cut all of that out.
Anyway, so yeah. It's one of those
Okay,
things where
but it's like, okay, so I hate bringing this case up because it's so controversial, but it's like the Amityville horror case. He says, I was hearing voices to do this. These voices were telling me to do this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what if
the
it's the
fail.
same? Yeah, what if it's the same thing with these military families that have these tragedies come about? What if it's, oh, pretty little kitty, but god damn it. What if they're, distracted by emotions or by something spiritual, whatever it is, and they're hearing voices or hearing something to tell them to do something extremely tragic. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. What if these things can also smell weakness? You know what I mean? Like they're like, damn, this person is going through some hard shit. Let's push him over the edge.
I could see that.
Yeah. So that's the Von Erich curse, and that's what it's been nicknamed. So the fact that he told that story before he had children is insane. You know.
I don't tell my kids jack shit. Just kidding.
Um, Also, what's interesting is when you go to this wait, okay, let's do a heartwarming story. Okay, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Ew, why?
What? Rowdy Roddy
This
Piper?
is Nightmare Road. Since when do we do heartwarming?
Okay, listen, it's a good story. So, Rowdy Roddy
Gross. Wait,
Piper,
go ahead.
he was great at promos. And remember, don't you ever throw rocks at a man that has a machine gun.
Why?
Anyway, so what? Well, come on, you're gonna lose that battle. So anyway, so you
Anyways.
have so you have Rowdy Roddy Piper. He used to have this friend whose name was Adrian Adonis. And Adrian Adonis was like a mentor, was a friend of his, and he ended up dying, and it hit him really hard. So, yeah. What?
Go on.
What's funny?
You just find the darkest stories sometimes. You find like these dark stories that have like this super light ending, and I don't know how you do it.
So, okay, here we go. So, all right, get out of the frame. So,
Be nice to your cat.
don't tell me how to live my life. So,
He's
you had Rowdy Roddy Piper. Rowdy Roddy Piper, right? He tells this story about how one day he's sleeping and he had gotten really hammered the night before. He suffered from depression. He drank a lot. So He's drinking and he accidentally left something on, and his house catches on fire. So he sees okay, wait. So then he goes
Anyway,
downstairs. Smoke detectors are going off.
I bet.
All he sees is the orange glow of like damn, and all of a sudden the flames get extinguished. Smoke
It was
is
me.
everywhere. No, so so the smoke clears, and then he says that he looks and he sees Adrian Adonis, his deceased friend, look behind him and said, "I got you," or something like that, or "I'll always, I got, I got your." He said something like, "I got your back," or something like that, and he disappears. And and then he talks about how, and then he talks about how, even after death, Adrian Adonis still was looking out for him. You know, so the
How
fact
does
that
he know it was Adrian though?
because he saw him, he says that the smoke cleared.
I get that, but just from recent experiences that I've had, how does he know it wasn't like a mimic or something?
Yeah, but why would he put out the fire? Like a mimic would let it. A mimic would drop oil into the damn fire and be like, "You're gonna cook."
True,
A mimic would never put out the fire and be like, "Hey, buddy," it
but a mimic
disappeared.
can point it out to you to put it out though.
The what?
The mimic may point it out to you. So what are you drinking? Are you drinking Diet Coke?
No, I'm not gay. It's a vanilla Coke.
I was just gonna call you super gay for that too.
Don't do that.
Anyway,
I like America and I like my steaks. I like my vanilla Coke. Anyway, so
anyways,
yeah,
so
so he
okay, so with like mimics and stuff though, they they mimic a certain person, they mimic a certain voice. So how does this person know that it wasn't a mimic or something?
okay,
Can we
so and there's another story behind it. Okay, so Rowdy Roddy Piper died, I think, in 2022. I could be wrong, but Roddy Roddy Piper's dead. He died.
okay?
Um, his
I
friend
died
had died in the early 90s. The what?
too. He said I died too. It's fine.
Well, I mean, jeez. So,
Go ahead.
um, so he ended up dying, right? So then someone said, who the hell was it? I want to say, was it Mark Henry, who was also a wrestler? He said that he went to this old arena and he went down there to warm up. He said to get things ready, and he said that he saw Rowdy Rodda Piper, like the spirit, right next to Adrian Adonis, like sitting next to each other, like with one arm around each other,
In the
and
stands,
disappeared.
right?
The what?
Like they were in like the first couple rows or something.
I
Was that
don't remember if it was. It could, yeah, I think it might have been the first couple rows or the side of the ring. It was one of the two. Probably the first couple rows because he could tell that it was them. So he said they just had like they had one arm around each other, and he was kind of like standing there, like what the hell? And then they just disappeared. So it's almost like I saved your life, and then in the end they just hung out together. They were best friends.
so? Okay, if you were to be just throwing this scenario out there, if you were to be in a wrestling ring and you were to see somebody in the stands do your next wrestling move, whatever it is, and then look back over and that person is gone, what would you do?
I would think I'm such a good wrestler that dead come to see me.
You're such a good wrestler that they didn't even get the chance to see you.
No, that ghosts are coming to watch me wrestle.
Oh, they just want to.
Just want to
Your
watch me wrestle.
confidence is just inspiring.
So, jeez. And what is your opinion on? What is your opinion on time travelers?
On time travelers?
Yeah.
I've seen stories where I'm like, you are the biggest fake I've ever seen. There's no way. But then I've also seen different articles and different pictures where I'm like, okay, how do you have a touchscreen phone in the 70s? That's no.
Oh,
And then there was another one where I think, what was it? Someone had a certain brand of beer, but it was like a modern version of it and not the older version. I want to say it was Budweiser or something like that.
they had a time traveler had it.
Yes.
Why are you throwing stuff?
Children in the pool right now.
Oh, they shouldn't be unattended. Um, so, all right. So the reason why I say that is because in 1983 there was a there was a wrestler
Mm-hmm.
who they were he was getting ready, right? He's doing that thing where he's in the back, right? And he's getting ready and he's walking to the ring and they're filming him like all the way to the back. And if you look in the back, there's a person that looks very familiar and you're like, who the hell is that? And you look closely and then that looks just like the wrestler that is wrestling in 2025. Well, actually, I think it was like
Which
2021,
wrestler?
2022. And the what?
Which wrestler?
His name was Daniel Bryan, and he had this gimmick where he was a member of a cult. So he wore like this really creepy, like a jumpsuit that looked like a janitor suit. Like, it was weird. It was like all blue. So
So was it blue like the shining blue or less creepy?
no, no, it looked like something that a janitor would wear, like a plumber, you know. So he he ended up being in the background. You're like, that's fucking weird. But this is 1983. Technically, he's supposed to not even be born yet, and yet here he is. You know, in 1983 as a grown man wearing the same gimmick costume, same beard, everything. And if you look closely, like it's him. So a lot of people, and he had a really good career. He came in right at the right time he needed to be. He was a smaller guy, so no one ever thought that he was going to be giving an opportunity. But the wrestling industry was going through like a shift of some kind where they're like, let's give smaller wrestlers a little bit more of a spotlight. And he came in right at the right time.
Okay, so was it him though or a doppelganger? Sorry,
But a doppel,
I've been drinking, so I'm a little more skeptical than normal. But was it him or a
really, we can't
doppelganger?
tell. Um,
Okay, was it the actual wrestler or like
so that's the thing. Okay, well, a doppelganger exists at the same time that you do. Um,
okay, I get that, but I mean,
so Daniel Bryan was not around in 1983. So
get
a
that.
lot of people, a lot of people look at that and they're like, "Is he a time traveler? Like, was he traveled back in time just to go see like his hero? You know what I mean?"
I mean, yes, but I don't know. Like with time travel, I would have to say I'm 75% on the fence of I don't know, and 25% of possibility.
That it's possible.
So
So
basically like you with everything.
oh, okay, yeah, skeptical. You know,
Yeah,
hate myself. Uh,
yeah.
but I mean, it's like the same stuff. Like we were just talking. You talked about the beer. I talking about the beer that didn't exist yet because it's modern. It's the same thing. Like remember that you ever seen that footage of it was 1991, 1992, and it was a Mike Tyson fight, and somebody's filming it with his phone back in 1991. They're like, what is going on? You know?
Fine. I mean, he had the latest version of the iPhone and he just knew what's his face? Mark how do you say his
You mean Mike Tyson?
name? No, the inventor of Apple and Facebook guy. What's his name?
They're not the same person.
They're not the same. Oh,
No. Mark Zuckerberg stole the idea of Facebook from another guy who stole it from MySpace. The guy that made Apple.
I thought they were the same person.
No.
Whoops,
Uh,
sorry. I
the
just
guy
proved
that
how dumb I am to all of our followers.
the guy that invented Apple was Steve Jobs. Well, Steve Jobs and his team.
Okay, I know Steve Jobs. Oh my god. No more margaritas.
Yeah, stupid Steve Blowjobs. Anyways, so anyway, so
God.
here you have him, and then there's other signs, like in wrestling with time travelers, how somebody's holding up a sign. You know how people used to hold up signs back then. You know they still do now, kind of, but not as much back then. They used to let you bring your own sign. This guy used to hold up a sign that says like Goldberg eats corn the long way, and just things like that. Anyway, so so this guy had a sign that said, you know, I think it said Macho Man will demolish the Twin Towers, you know. And
Oh
and
shit.
this was 1988.
Uh, I
And
mean, that still
uh,
can. Fuck.
and then there was another sign that said, you know, Triple H fear. This is 1993. Triple H fear CM Punk.
Really?
These were people that again weren't around back then.
That's weird.
Triple H hadn't started wrestling yet. No one knows who the fuck Triple H was. Triple H wasn't even Triple H when he first arrived in wrestling. You know, he
When
was
did he become that in wrestling? Like, how many years down the road was it?
I think it was 2 years after that. He debuted as a guy that's, you know, called himself like the Blue Blood, and he was like a fake, but he was supposed to be like a British guy. So he, you know, his signature move was the pedigree. You know, he would bow because he was royalty, and then eventually he dropped that gimmick. I think in '96, and he became Triple H. You
When
know,
you said pedigree, I thought of my cat's food.
well, yeah, but and that's the whole point. It's like the bloodline, like pure bloodline. He delivers this anyway. So another thing that you look at it, like CM Punk, who's a wrestler, I think that didn't start. I think that he was maybe a teenager when that sign was being held up. CM Punk wasn't even his name yet. You know, he didn't come about until like I think
Oh
10 years
wow,
after that.
that's
Just
crazy.
yeah. So if you're watching a show like from back then and you see that sign means nothing. You're like, who the fuck are these people? Who? CM
Yeah, but
Punk.
nowadays to us it would mean something. We'd be like,
Yeah,
oh
well
wait, oh
now you
shit,
watch it and you guys can look this up on YouTube. Look at that sign. People go back and like, what the hell? Like he wasn't even around then.
that's wild.
Just like
Well,
the just like the Daniel Bryan. You look at Daniel Bryan and you're like, what the hell is he doing? And you're like, and then Daniel Bryan becomes a wrestler like 34 years later. You know, it's crazy. It's
like
it's
our
crazy to
age,
think.
old
Yeah,
ass people that should not be doing
old.
anything like that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, not me.
I'd rather die.
Yeah.
Like if somebody were to challenge me to a fight, I would probably just lay on the ground and be like, just go for shit. I'm done. I'm too
Yeah, me
lazy
too.
for this.
I'll just lay on my side and then just kind of lay there.
Hit me.
Just kind of
Do it.
go ahead.
Let me collect your
Um,
insurance, bitch.
yeah. Yeah, I'll show you. Wow. So, hey, Hitler. Anyway, so yeah, no, it's just
Oh,
crazy
that's
because, and you also have other wrestlers. Again, remember that these are wrestlers that back then, now they have like airplanes and buses. Back in the day, back in my day, you know, they would either go on a bus with a bunch of wrestlers, like, or they
ew.
would drive themselves,
So
right?
it just stinks to all hell
It
like Theo
just
and
stunk
piss and
of
fart.
hillbilly, and these people were drinking, you know, so there was vomit,
So not
diarrhea.
only gross men pee and fart, you have hillbilly sweat and vomit.
Also, like very loose women.
That's really disgusting.
Yeah, it smelled like a fish market. Anyway, so us
See,
what? So anyway, so
Jesus.
some wrestlers would drive themselves. You know, they would drive to the
I
event. They
would.
would go, "Where are we headed?" The way that they described the wrestling circuit was that it was like taking darts and just throwing it on a map. It was like, "Oh, we're being there next," you know. So this wrestler told a story about how he was driving and there was a hitchhiker who he picked up. He was like, he pulls over 1 in the morning, picks up a hitchhiker side of the road, and he said he's driving this guy, and he's like, "How far off are you going?" And the guy would just the guy would just point, and he's like, "You all right there, buddy?" And he says he's trying to make conversation with him, but you're right there, buddy. You know, he's like, "What do you do?" "I'm a wrestler. Like, I don't know if you see me on TV." And the guy wouldn't say a word.
Gross.
So
So he was one of those people that have like, you see me on TV, right? Like, how do you
you see
not
me
know
on Nightmare
who
Road.
I am? Yeah, you see me on YouTube. I'm from Nightmare Road. Like, how do you not know?
Yeah, stupid idiot. You know, just anyway. So he picks this guy up, right,
Anyway,
and he's trying to make conversation with him. So he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take a piss." He's like, "I'm gonna pull over to take a piss on the side of the road." He's like, "You can go on the other side if you have to go to, or just wait in the car." So he gets off. He gets off the car. He pisses. Gets back in the car. The guy doesn't leave. You know, the guy doesn't. The door doesn't close or open or nothing. So he's like, he's waiting for me, like I told him. So he gets back in the car, and no one's in the car with him.
gross.
He,
Really?
yeah, he says he
Were the
gets back.
doors locked or anything?
Well, no, the door didn't even open. That's why he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take a piss. If you want to take a piss, too, or just wait in the car. I'll be right back." So he gets out of the car, walks to the side of the car,
Weird.
takes a leak, puts it away, walks back into the car, shuts the door, looks over at the guy. No one's there.
Puts it away.
Puts it away, and then gets back in the car, and then there's no one there. And then he said that for the remainder of the ride,
Apparently, they were
he said
disappointed.
he said he was driving. He was driving, and he said that as he's driving the car, he says that he can smell sulfur or like something that was burnt, you know, like in the car.
Go
So,
shower.
well, what's the matter, cat? Freaking out. Anyway, so yeah, exactly. So he's smelling, you know, sulfur all the way until he got there, and then he said that that night he got like the weirdest fever, you know, so, out of nowhere, just a fever.
I mean, if you have a stinky ghost, I mean, that would give me a fever.
You know what's interesting is the what?
Go take a shower. Something.
Yeah. So in Salvadorian folklore, when you encounter a demonic entity or something like that, that's like one of the first signs that happens is afterwards you get a
They
fever.
smell like sulfur or.
No, you just get really sick.
I mean,
So,
yeah.
so like for example, in a story where the witches would turn into animals, like when a witch would turn into a pig, go into a place where like all these guys are drinking, they're trying to hack it with machetes. The machetes are glancing off, and then she bites all of them and then runs off. That night, everybody got a fever.
She bit them.
Yeah.
She's my hero.
Well, I mean, you know,
Just kidding. Just goes
get
around
out of
biting
here.
people and saying, "Okay, bye. I
Okay, all
bit
right,
you."
take it easy.
Be
Yeah,
nice to your
just go. I am.
It deserves all the attention, all the pets, and all the loves and snuggles.
Yeah. Wow. So anyway, that's another ghost story. And
You're the worst.
last but the what?
Just kidding.
Last but not. I
Sorry,
wish
my
that was a
family
ghost.
kind of loud.
No, it's fine. Last but no, man, you can't do that. so
Keep talking. I'm spilling water. Well, stealing water.
so yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about the. I think it has something to do with just traveling. If you ask anybody that's a traveler of any kind, whether they're gypsies or merchants or carnies or anybody, they always have stories, because a lot of their adventures. Oh, sorry, closing that window. A lot of their adventures. Yeah, the window's open and the cat just looks outside and he's like, I want to go out there. So,
He's guarding your house.
so they all have these. No, he's not guarding anything. He's a cat. So
Anything. Doesn't do jack shit.
just wait. Well, he does eat mice. Um. So yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just something about maybe it's the fact that they're traveling around, or maybe it's because these people are traveling at times when no one's out on the road, so they see more stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's It's just I
It's,
don't know, and that's why these
I don't know.
stories fat and they're
Traveling is weird to me. I
the what
I'm
traveling.
very on the fence with that one.
Hmm.
I don't know why, because I firmly believe in astral projecting because I've done it myself. I firmly believe in that. But time traveling, I don't know why I have such a hard time with it, but I really do. I'm
Yeah.
very skeptic on that one.
No, it's a interesting topic to this day. I mean, scientists are like, you know what? I think somebody might have already time traveled, or it's not possible, and it's just weird, like being on the fence like
Yeah.
that.
Like they'll think it's possible, and then you'll hear other scientists say, "Oh no, 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 no! There's no way it's possible. There's no way it's possible." But it's
And then you get others that are like, or maybe somebody has already done it. You know?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
it's
We could probably do 2 episodes on that one, in all
on
honesty.
time travel,
Yeah, time travel's a
especially that.
great subject.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Last one. So there was a wrestler
I
who.
had a lot of stories for this one. I'm glad you found a lot.
Well, there's a lot. I have a lot more. I mean, geez, there's so
Which,
many.
okay, go on. You're just gonna have to tell me where to find all these, but go on.
Okay, so there was a wrestler. His name was Owen Hart, and Owen Hart was the brother of Bret the Hitman Hart. Have you ever heard of Bret the Hitman Hart?
Nope.
Oh, well, he was badass. He's also a legitimate wrestler. Like his father um, trained with Carl Gotch and
Was
the Gables. The
he
what?
though
Was he what?
a okay,
Yeah,
just go
he
on.
was yeah. So the type of martial art, because wrestling is a martial art, by the way, guys. So the type of wrestling that he did was called catch wrestling or Greco-Roman. So it's legitimate. It's got legitimate throws. I favor Greco-Roman. I think that it's excellent for self-defense.
Hmm.
You know, but my background is not Greco-Roman; it's Sambo. When it comes to grappling,
Did you just
Sambo
say
is
psycho? What did you
no
say?
Sambo, Vola Bola Sambo.
Thought you said psycho. I was like, that's not something you want to admit.
Yeah, what's up, fool? You do kung fu and no crazy, eh? No, so he was a legitimate uh, wrestler. Like he can put you in holes, he can shoot in on you and dump you on your head. He was pretty good. So that was
Things.
the what?
He said I can do all those things.
Yeah. So sure, bro. Um, so it's so anyway. So his brother, right? They broke into the wrestling scene together. They were both really good. And one day, Vince McMahon has this great idea. We're gonna get Owen Hart, and he's going to rappel from the ceiling all the way down to the ring. It's gonna be awesome. So he goes and he has these stuntmen, and the stuntmen are like, "You got the wrong clips. These are not the clips that you need." And they're like, "It's gonna be fine. He's gonna be
Mhm.
great." And he's like, "These are not rated." So one day the event starts, and Owen Hart is rappelling down the ceiling like he was supposed to. Then all of a sudden, the thing snaps. He falls 50 feet in the air, crashes into the ring, and dies in front of a live audience.
Are you serious? How many people were
Yep,
in the audience?
thousands. So
And they just watched this guy die.
they watched him die, and Vince McMahon comes out. The paramedics come out. They take him out of there. Vince McMahon's like, "Well, the show's got to go on." So they wrestled four more matches in that event. Some wrestlers said that you can rest and see the blood on the canvas as you're
Wait,
wrestling.
didn't you just say they carried him out?
Yep,
Who were they? This. Oh, okay.
he
They
was
carried
dead.
him out, and he's still. What?
He
Who was?
died. He
And the wrestling match still had to continue. Who took
so
his place?
they ended the match, right? The match was over, so they continued the event. So after that, two more wrestlers came in, and he said that they felt so weird wrestling. He says, and they were so like shooken up because the guy died in the ring, and some of them
Oh
were friends of his. And he says that when you're wrestling, he says I was laying on the canvas and I looked over and you could see blood on the canvas. So anyway, in the arena where he died, I forget which arena it was, but some people, a lot of wrestlers, like the Mark Henry story, a lot of wrestlers like to go down before the event starts, just so they can get a feel of the ropes, just so they can do that. And he says that he looks up and he's Owen Hart coming down, and then before he hits there, it disappears. Other people say that they go and they just see Owen Hart standing in the middle of the ring, and then just disappear. So his ghost is still lingering around that arena.
that's wild. That would suck. Imagine
Yeah,
a pro wrestler dying and being stuck in a pro wrestling match for like the rest of your life.
yeah. Could you? And also, my question is, if they were to
Screw that.
demolish the arena, what?
I said, screw that. That would suck.
Yeah, and imagine. I wonder what would happen if they were to tear down the arena. Would your ghost still linger around the area, or was it attached to the rubble? You know what I mean?
It'll be just like Bobby Mackey's.
You think so?
You tear it down, you are releasing everything.
Huh.
It can either stay attached to that land or it's just going to go wherever and fuck around and find out.
I wonder. Okay, so Vince McMahon, a lot of allegations came on after him. It seems like he just had a string of bad luck after. How much do you think is just like all these people that he screwed over? All these people are like, let's ruin his life.
I mean, karma does suck, and I am a firm believer in karma. So yeah.
I'm a firm believer in Carmen. She'll come over and she'll beat your ass, eh?
Yeah, but if you're doing shitty stuff to people throughout your whole life, you can't expect everything to be all freaking rainbows and butterflies in the afterlife. I'm sorry, that's not going to
Yeah.
you. You're going to be treated the same exact way. You're going to be treated like shit. So good luck in the afterlife, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, we should close out the show. That was a good point. Anyway, guys, what?
Me being an asshole.
No, it's just like no, this message is approved. So
This message is
yeah,
approved by the host of Nightmare Road Crew. Please stay tuned for next
yeah,
show.
yeah. Stay tuned for next show. All right, guys. Be sure to check out Loot by Lottie. Get yourself a mystery box. If you guys type in, yeah, get yourself some jewelry. Oh, geez,
I'm
what is
wearing
going on?
one of her earrings and one of her bracelets. Can you see
Oh,
it?
let's have.
Hold on. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Hold
yeah,
on.
we can see. Hold on, turn it. There you go. Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then the
Does that?
bracelet. evil eye bracelet. Oh,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yep,
Yeah.
I see it. Yeah. So yeah, all that good stuff. And if you
Jewelry's
type in Lucky Loot, you get 10% off your first order.
And I've worn these earrings like 3 or 4 times in the shower, and they are still silver. So I would love to point that out to all my fellow girlies that are picky about their jewelry.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know anything about jewelry, but that's
No, it's fine.
anyway, you guys check out the merch. I got some new stuff up, so you guys check that out at T
I have a
Public.
sticker on a sticker, guys.
Yeah, get a sticker on a sticker.
Put it on a
That's
sticker.
oh yeah, that's what's up, eh? So yeah, get a sticker on a sticker. Get yourself a shirt. Get yourself a mug. Get yourself all the good. Oh, look who's wearing a Nightmare Road shirt.
Oh, I am. I didn't even
So
Nightmare Road out, guys. Check out our
yeah,
little what it
Rou-
mascot? Would
Rowdy.
he be our mascot?
Yeah, he's a mascot. He's Rowdy
Yeah,
Raccoon.
he's our mascot. A little
Yeah, he's
trash raccoon.
yeah. Originally he's supposed to be Roadkill, but geez, guys, I'm tired. Roadkill, but he just started wearing all kinds of cool outfits and all kinds of different things. So
Yeah, like
Raccoon, he looks cool.
right, and a cool little hat.
Yeah, there you go. Um,
I'm
so anyway, yeah, good stuff. And this episode was fun. I love talking about wrestling. I should have worn like a wig and sunglasses and like flashy coat and just done a whole
I
promo.
know you love it, but do you know how hard this was for me to look up something for? You
Well,
can't just Google ghosts in the wrestling world. You can't just Google paranormal in WWE because nothing comes up, Decon.
so that's it, guys. And remember to look both ways, especially if you find yourselves on Nightmare Road.
You didn't whisper it, but okay.
No, I didn't.
It's fine.
Road.